Well, today is Saturday, September 13th, 2025, and it's been a while since I've done this, but again, I'll be reading a daily devotional from a Christian source, the United Church of Christ, um, giving my own perceptions and things that the devotion made me think of, using a Christian text to discuss everyday life, something I truly believe any sacred text from any tradition can be used and it should be used for, because for me it's all about this life and what we do to create that. And if I guess as a believer in God, if you think God is love, as the Christian texts say, or as the Judaic texts say, um, love exists when we are in relationship with one another in a positive and nurturing and supportive way. Um, exists in and between us and doesn't exist when there is no love present. Anyway, the devotion for today is entitled Smooth Operator, written by Molly Baskett. And Molly bases the devotion upon Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17, New International Version. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And Molly writes, all of a sudden, artificial intelligence, AI, is everywhere, advertised on every billboard in my city, proffered as a helpmeet on every internet search. It's even creeping into daily human to human conversations. Don't forget, our phones are listening in. Aside from all the ethical questions about whether AI will rob people of jobs, ruin higher education, or take over the world when the bots realize they've lapped us, there's another key issue at stake: whether their help is actually helpful. AI certainly knows how to make things easier for us, gentler, softer, smoother, cutting out the hard work we would otherwise have to do ourselves. It learns our most intimate secrets and always affirms us. We feel seen, known, cared for. Some people have replaced traditional therapy with a chatbot. Others have even married them. Last month, when OpenAI rolled out a new version of ChatGPT, the outcry from those who had lost their therapist, partner, best friend in the upgrade was so massive the old version was immediately restored. I mentioned this phenomenon to a therapist of mine. She said, I'm not most upset by the fact that AI is encroaching on my field. What makes me worried is how AI only comforts, doesn't confront. People in therapy, or any relationships, improve the most when they have friction, rupture, then repair. We only get better when we have our perspective challenged and when we have to do the hard work of taking responsibility and finding better ways to respond to the conditions around us and within us. The way of Jesus has always been a challenging way, a love that speaks truth or finds empathy for enemies. Learning that leadership means taking last place. The holy friction of working through difference in community without abandoning self or other. As Proverb puts it so succinctly that AI might have written it, as iron sharpens iron, so humans sharpen one another. And then Molly's prayer. God, your unconditional love is one that keeps us honing us into the people we might yet become, not smoothing away every rough edge. May we welcome the growth that comes with that kind of love. Lots of thoughts came through my mind as I was reading this, and the proliferation of AI and everything is enlightening and frightening at the same time. Um, I think one of the things that this devotion made me think about is that with AI, often what we get is a mirror back of our own um, biases and reflection and inputs. I mean, AI only works to the point through which the context that we give it, and it tends to reinforce our beliefs or takes cues from us to find things that we already believe, and it reinforces our beliefs rather than challenging them. Um, and I think that's one of the biggest issues. And of course, this has existed even before AI was prevalent. When you look at different kinds of quote unquote news sources that are really entertainment channels that simply provide information that continues to reinforce our own biases rather than challenging us to think differently. Um, I know the most growth I've seen in my own life is when my preconceptions or biases were challenged by taking in different information and seeing things in a new way. Moving and living to Europe, living in Germany for a couple of years, for example, experiencing a different culture, and then coming back to the U.S. culture really helped me see my own life in a different way and see life in the U.S. in a different way. And of course, the time I was there was in the mid 90s, was when, for example, Fox News first came out. And it was interesting to me because they claimed they were fair and balanced and that all the media in the U.S. was biased left. And when I came back, I felt like all the media in the U.S. maybe feigned it to be biased left, but were in fact biased right. All the media. That was my impression, and it's only gotten worse, I think. But anyway, people tend to look for things that reinforce their own beliefs rather than challenge them, and AI is just making that worse. And I think that's something that we need to watch out for and to change, and to look for people who can respectfully challenge our beliefs and help us to see in different ways. But that also involves us being open to understanding another perspective and seeing where the perspective that we have may not be a full perspective, that we may be missing things intentionally or unintentionally. And I think a lot of the stories about Jesus showed a person that was just like that could change their mind, could understand things in a different way, but also challenged people to think in a different way and not be overwhelmed by the preconceptions and the biases that existed in their culture, in their religious tradition, in their leadership, that blinded them to another way of being. And for me, it comes back to looking at things in the lens of how does this increase or decrease the love and the care in the world, and make the world a better place for everyone, not just for me. And how might my own biases be impeding someone else's life, and how can I change my life so that it's not only better for me, but better for other people and all of creation. Anyway, and for me, that's my definition of, I guess, if you will, bringing the presence of God in the world is working on relationships around us. And again, as far as I know, AI depends upon the context that we give it. If we don't give it much context, it's not going to give us a good answer. And if we give it too much context, it's going to give us the answer that we want to see. And that's a dangerous place to be. Anyway, those are my thoughts for this day. Maybe it'll give you something to think about and help you to be able to take off the lenses and that you're wearing, or see the lenses that you're wearing and how those lenses are changing how you see and understand the world, and maybe begin to see and understand in a new and different way. Anyway, my thoughts for the day. Yours may be different. Maybe we should talk about it.